So this is for prospective bidders wanting to know how to bid on the online tax sale here in the state of Iowa. We're hosting here from the Marshall County Courthouse, and today we have Joe Edwards from SRI here and Mark Carr from GovTech Services. So they'll go through a process that you can see here on the screen, and then we'll have some questions as well. So without any further ado, we'll get started at it, and Joe, take it away.
Great. Thanks, Jared. I'll give some general information before I dig into the website. Like Jared said, I'm Joe Edwards from SRI. Mark Carr is sitting down now from GTS. We partner, the two firms partner together. This is the 6th year for the online tax sale. 47 counties this year have decided to do an online tax sale. The very first year was 7, so it's grown by 40 in 5 years, basically. And the young lady that slipped in, I'll give you a map before you leave so you can see which counties are doing the online tax sale. I will show you how to register for the site and how to bid on these properties. Please feel free to ask your question whenever you have one, because if you're like me, you'll have a question in your head, and then by the time I'm done, you'll forget what the question was. So please feel free to ask it when you have it. I don't think Mark or I either one care about that. But if you can't see the screen very well, then feel free to move a chair up. And if your back of your head's in the camera, somebody will tell you that, I bet. You start on the iowataxauctions.com. That's the URL that we're starting on here. That's where you will go to find the various auctions. Now, I will show you how to create the account, but then I will log in under my name. To create this account, basically you're creating this account for the site. This will not get you into any particular county auctions because you've got to register with the site first. And I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to show it to you. It looks basically like every other site you've ever registered for, from eBay to any of them, anything you've ever registered. Just looks exactly like it, as you can see. First name, last name, email, password, confirm the password, all the same junk. You're agreeing to the terms of use and the private policy, which you can go to just by clicking on there if you ever read it. Unlike anybody who's ever agreed to this, nobody's ever read it, of course, but your lawyer will tell you that's not a good idea. But so anyway, the registration page, super easy, super simple. But again, that's going to register you for the site, the Zeus site, and not any particular auction. Now I'm going to log in as a bidder. So this is basically the stuff you'll be seeing. Now everybody that registers for the site will have this dashboard, and this will show a lot of stuff, as you can see, for the various open sales. But I will show you, now here are all of the Iowa sales listed by alphabet. Now what this will show you on each one is the amount of the liens, total amount of liens, number of bidders that have registered already, and the amount of the registration fee. I think we flip over. Huh?
From demos?
Yeah, they're at the very end, aren't they?
Well, I can drag all the way down the bottom.
Page 3. Okay.
Go back to page 1. And that blue section.
I think at the bottom of page 1.
Just hit dashboard again on the left.
Yeah. trying to find the demos.
They're at the bottom of one.
Okay.
There you go.
Now what you're gonna, what you're gonna get to do is pre-bid. So I'm gonna show you the pre-bid demo first. What that means is you can, and somebody's already been in here, pre-bid probably. You can create your list and have it on your desktop, do all your homework on there, do your research, use it as a worksheet, and then download it for pre-bidding prior to the opening of the sale. So basically, if you do all that on Saturday and you say, I want to go ahead and get my list in, you can go into the whichever counties you want to do and submit your pre-bid list, and basically think of it as a queue, and all those bids are going to be sitting there in a queue until the sale opens on Monday morning. When the sale opens Monday morning, the switch gets flipped, and then all of those bids that you've submitted, along with everybody else, will flood into the system out of that queue. So your pre-bidding has to take place before the opening of the sale. You can't submit multiple bids the day of the sale. You have to do it before the sale opens. Now, if you want to go in and add one or two or change a couple or whatever you want to do, you can do that individually, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you're going to do a bulk bidding, you've got to do it before the sale opens.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
When will the Excel spreadsheet be available for Marshall County so that we can?
Should be now.
It's available as soon as you register. You have to register one bidder.
Okay, as of when? I did this probably on Wednesday and it wasn't there, but now you're telling me it is. It was a PDF.
When was the?
The Excel should be up.
I can
Okay,
tell
so
by
maybe-
looking at this.
Maybe in the last 3 or 4 days it's been put up.
I think Friday.
Okay, I haven't been there.
Let me make sure. I
I
can
can't,
check.
I
I
can't
can see
remember
on
when the
here.
the first day you got the file.
According to this, it's there now, because it wouldn't show the total amount here if it wasn't in there. So,
Okay, so is that blue, is that
Blue,
blue box?
the blue box is the
Is the
download list.
Excel?
Yeah.
Okay, so that has been, that's good. I'm glad to see that.
yeah, it's there.
And then what is the the latest point at which that can be uploaded? After you put in what you're bidding in the 2 columns, then what's the latest date and time that that can be uploaded?
Monday morning, before the
9
sale
a.m.?
opens, yeah.
Okay.
So 8:59.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait.
I wouldn't advise that.
I wouldn't advise that, just
Yeah.
because of the time it takes for it to
Sure.
go from your house to the, yeah.
Okay, good enough. So something that.
That's the way we pre-bid with that Excel spreadsheet.
Right. And I'll show you, I might as well
Well,
show
you
you now.
can manually pre-bid as well.
Right.
But that's the way you bid on all parcels at the same time.
And you can pre-bid, anytime up to the sale, and you can manually bid up until the sale closes. But you can't bulk bid.
When you get to it, I would like to see how that, I'd just like to see the Excel.
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
updated and uploaded. That's the only piece I'm kind of missing.
There you
Go back to the,
When you get to it.
and I'll go back to the demo and go right to it.
So when you logged in, that download list, the blue box wasn't even there?
No.
Okay. So that would have been even before their auction was set up, because that box is hidden until we set their time and all that stuff up.
Okay, this is what the list looks like. So it's basically your entire,
Right.
the entire list. And then if you go over, these are your bidder columns. So if you're gonna bid, this is your direct bid column and this is your proxy bid. Now, 95.8% of these bids are gonna be, I threw that out because that's how many last year sold for 100%, was 95.8. So if you go to the direct bid column, you start that at 100 because that's what you want.
Right.
And you put the proxy bid at 1 if you really want to be in the random selection. at any percent, then you put in 1. That way, nobody's going to get it at 1 and you're not gonna be in the mix. So if there's one you just don't want, except at 100, then you put 100 here and 100 there. And then you're not gonna get it unless it's selected at 100. So if you want to, you know, if you've got 100 here and 1 here, and I get in, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I put in a 7 as my direct bid, then your bids are gonna go with me. So you're gonna be in the random selection at 7% if you put your proxy at 1. Because that basically means you're gonna go to 1 if somebody else does. And you're always gonna be included in that random selection, no matter what the percent is. And like I say, last year, there was only 4.2% of all the bids in 35 counties that went for anything other than 100. You seem to have a question in your forehead, I saw a wrinkle right there, I think.
I guess I don't, what's 1 mean?
1%,
So you're gonna bid down from 2 to 1?
from 100 to
No.
1.
No, so
Oh.
the 1 is a proxy, and it's a proxy to tie. So the 1 means nothing until someone lowers that direct bid to something other than 100. And you can go down in increments of 1 on your direct bid. But basically, if everyone placed 100 in the direct bid and 1 in the proxy bid, everyone would tie at 100 and it would go to random selection until someone changes that direct bid number to something lower than 100. The bid is at 100%. So that's the misconception. As a matter of fact, I just had a call today, someone thinking that that they would get an advantage if they were the ones that lowered their direct bid. No, you would not get any advantage. It just means that you have lowered everyone's bid. Everyone that has a proxy lower than what you're bidding, you've lowered everyone to that bid. And then it goes to random selection. So theoretically, you could weed people out by going down, but you know, Joe's 95% is probably pretty close to the people that just put 101 in and let it go.
Yeah, you're not gonna weed very many people out, because they're all just gonna go right with you to whatever direct bid you put in.
And when we get to the manual bidding process, we can show you, you can actually, when the sale starts, you can actually see how little or how it might help you to lower it, or how little it will help you to lower it, because you can actually see that. And the reason we do that is because it's just like a live sale. I mean, when bidding's going on a live sale, you know exactly how many people, you know, you're in, you know, who's going to bid down with you before that redraw starts. Same with the online sale. We give you tools to see exactly how many people are
So
willing
if
to
you
go
put
down.
1 in there, you're accepting less than 2% per month.
No, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. The interest stays the same regardless. You're bidding on percent interest in the property should it go to deed. So if it went to deed and you bid all the way down to 1%, then you would own 1% of that property. You would be deeded 1%.
So who's gonna own the other 90?
The homeowner or
The non-taxpayer.
yeah.
I can do my foreclose.
Jared, how many deeds do you issue?
How many deeds total, or how many deeds that's ever gone below 100%?
Well, how many deeds total?
Or how many deeds in a year? 30 is a guess. We've never done one,
Yeah.
not in my 8
Not in
years.
your time, but we have, yeah.
But the number of deeds is not great,
No.
mostly redeemed. So that if you take the 4.2% of the properties that sold at less than 100, and then you apply the percentage that actually go to deed, there's not a very good chance you'll get a deed for anything less than 100. And the law provides for that, so it's not like, you know, you could do that in a live sale certainly. So you just go to court and ask the judge to
And what you'll find in online sales is the parcels that are most likely to go to deed, unless they are something that everyone wants. You know, if you want them, you're probably going to be the only one. You're probably going to get them at 100% because there just probably won't be anyone else bidding on them.
So yeah, you can work this list, you know, starting right now until the morning of the sale. And you've already been doing that or getting ready to do it. So, and then whenever you're done, you can load it up, and during the day of the sale, you can go play golf if you want or whatever. You don't, it doesn't do you any good to sit, because if you got proxies in at 1, then you don't need to follow anything, because you're gonna, sale's gonna close, there's gonna be an email sent that says this is your invoice, this is what you're gonna get, this is what you're gonna pay, and that's gonna come out automatically out of the account that you used to pay your registrations. So you don't have to initiate any payment. It's all done through GTS's website and through ACH. So you can go to a live sale while you bid on 10 online sales, and all that will take place without any input from you. Does that make sense?
So if you absolutely, back to the bidding, if you absolutely want a parcel at 100%, nothing less, and you want to bid by the way Joe just explained, by not being involved in the sale, you're going to want to put 100 in your direct bid and 100 in your proxy bid, and that means that you don't want it at anything less than 100.
And if you have another number you'd go to, you say, well, I'll go to 50 on this one, but not all the way to 1. Then you put 50 in your proxy. And you won't go down unless somebody else goes. The proxy is, I mean, if you put 50 or 1 in a proxy, you're not set. Their direct bid is what controls where the bidding goes. So if you leave everything at 100 on direct bid and everybody leaves it at 100, then it's going to all be random selection at 100. It's only when somebody goes down for a direct bid that your proxy will then kick in and then follow that direct bid. Now I'll show you if you don't, let's say you don't only want to bid on 4 or 5 properties. This is how you bid on anything other than the bulk bid. Or if you want to if you want to add a property during the sale, because you can't bulk bid during the sale. You just actually go to the actual property, and I'll go to.
Excuse me, was there an upload button then on that Excel spreadsheet
Yes,
that I didn't
yes.
see?
Yeah, I'll go back to that, sorry. I didn't see. I gotta go back to that.
So if you have more than one number, you have to upload the Excel.
If you want to, so basically you can add as many numbers to a login as you want, but whatever you bid for that login, you're bidding that amount for all of your numbers. So we have smaller bidders who will split that up. If they have family members or something that want to make their own bids, and so they'll have 2 or 3 numbers under one login, 2 or 3 numbers under another login, but basically whatever a login bids, they are bidding for every bidder that they have registered in the sale. So, and that would be the step before the registered bidders there. Yeah.
And there's only one on this.
So Joe has 1.
But I could modify it, add at any time, or go over here at manage bidders here and do the same thing. I can add all the bidders I want to add.
Okay, so I have multiple bidders under one login and password.
bid the same, so you couldn't, there's no, if, say, for some reason, you know, one of your bidders didn't want to bid on a parcel, you couldn't do that.
And they have to be on the same bank account
Yes.
as
you have
well.
to.
So if you want to use 3 different bank accounts, you have to do 3 lists
Yeah.
of registration. But the place you do that is under bulk registration on your
Yeah. I've done that.
dashboard. You've seen that,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And
So, here we are, okay.
take you back to show you where you were asking about that. On each auction, there's up here at the top, the multi-bid upload.
Uh-huh.
And it's just,
Step 1 is to download the list.
yeah. And then you pull it right off your wherever.
Okay,
I mean, just like anything you've ever downloaded before.
and then what's that green button down there saying?
Submit,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. So you just, fill in the one you want and then submit it.
Okay.
Very
So-
simple.
So you're gonna download that list that Joe just had up there, fill out, the 2 bid columns, for each parcel that you're interested in. Save it to your desktop or, a folder, browse for it, and then upload it.
And is the name, do I change the name of that file, or it has to be exactly what it was? Not that I would change the name, but when there's something weird happened.
As long as it's formatted, as long as you don't change any of the columns and
Sure.
things like that, you can name it whatever.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll go back.
And you can kind of even change some of the columns around, but the one thing you absolutely can't do is you can't rename any of the headers,
Sure.
because that will throw the
Yeah.
import off.
So you want to bid on one or 2 properties, just go to the actual property. Now, oh, I can't do it on this one, sorry. Got too many demos here. Got to go back to the one because this is the
So
pre-bid.
that's just the details.
This is a pre-bid, yeah. So I'll go to the one that's not pre-bid. Okay. Now let's say I want to bid on this first one. This one's had some bids already.
You wanna bid on-
Oh, yeah, I can't. What am I doing? Can't bid on one I've already bid on. I have to go to a different one. I'm going to show you how to bid. Here's
Click on the green button.
I'm going to find one that I don't have a bid on.
So what are those icons on the left? I've not been to that screen, so it looks like a cherry bomb or something on the first column. What is that? Or is it significant?
Which one?
Thumbs up.
Oh, is it a thumbs up?
That's for, yeah, that puts you on the watch list. If you want to follow a property but not bid, you can click on that button and you'll be on a watch list. And then on your dashboard, there's a place to go listed up here at the top to just look at ones on the watch list. And when you place a bid, it automatically goes on your watch list.
Oh, okay.
So, but
Okay, that's good to know.
I don't think I have a bid on this one, so yeah, good. Okay, so this is what you're gonna see. Now you can see there's already been several people bid on this, because this demo has been used over a period of time. So if you wanna place a bid, you just go to the place bid button, and it will tell you what's been bid on here. But now look here, this is your column, this is your direct bid, the one on the spreadsheet that we said you're gonna bid at 100. If you want to get it at 100 with everybody else, and then here's your proxy bid. So this person that bid here has lowered the starting bid to 85 because that's where their direct bid is. But they want it at 85. They don't, for whatever reason, this person wants this property at 85%. Now this wouldn't be very common bidding. This is somebody playing around in this sample auction. So you would never, I can't imagine a scenario you would want to bid 85% as your direct bid, because nobody wants to start at 85. Everybody wants to start at 100. And Yeah, I can't bid higher than the current bid. Well, I'm gonna bid 84, because somebody's at 85. I didn't pick a very good one out of that list. You're not gonna wanna bid anything other than 100, I don't think. And then you place the bid, then ask you one last chance if you screwed up or not, and this tells you what you bid.
And your proxy does have to be at least as low as your direct bid.
Yeah.
So that was the second little notice that he received.
So by putting that 84 in and then 1, now if somebody comes in and lowers it to 83, you're still in the game.
I'm still in the game, right. I'm in the game all the way to 1, or in the game till, for good, because nobody can go less than 1.
Is that an open sale there?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go back into bid,
On which one?
any of them, what, try that bottom one, because
100?
there's a lot of bidders there.
Oh, yeah, we'll go to
And then,
well,
oh, is it bid or
I mean, go to the actual property.
go to the,
Yeah.
there you go.
Now here, on all of them, you can go to the bid history. Now this is one where everybody has put in, as you can see, 100 as their opening bid. 698 people have bid at 100 as their opening bid, but they've gone to 100 as their proxy. So they're only gonna get, there's 698 people here that are screwed basically, because somebody, 18 people went to 1 with their proxy. So these people, if anybody goes down at all, these people are out, because they didn't have a proxy bid lower than their direct bid.
So this is an example of being able to see how many people you can outbid by lowering that direct bid. Now, this isn't a very common occurrence that that the majority of them will want it at 100, but it's a good demonstration of.
Yeah, exactly. And right here is the common one, 101. And somebody that got in this demo and bid on, and had multiple bidders, did an upload of a lot of bidders and bid at 100 and then 100. You'll know that before you go in and bid on a property, by going to the bid history.
Yeah, once the sale opens, we don't disclose any bids whatsoever until the sale opens. But while it's in pre-bid, that view history link won't display.
So when those properties come out of the, or those bids come out of the queue, and Mark waves his magic wand on this morning of the sale at 9 o'clock and opens the sale, and all those go flooding in, and that bid history is gonna be like that. Other than just something showed. It's gonna have all the number of bidders that are in there and what their bids are. So you can get a pretty good idea on every property. Okay, what else? So I showed you multiple bidding. I showed you individual bidding. What questions do either of you have?
So back to that slide, those 690 people are basically.
Yeah.
So then, the auction just goes to the ones that put in 1, and how many people are there, 100?
Well, you've
Yeah,
got,
it shows-
right now, there would be no bids less than 100, because all of the opening bids are 100. Now, if somebody came in and did an opening bid of 1, then these 18 would be the only ones left in the competition. Because all these others didn't put in, they didn't lower their proxy bids to 1. So these won't even go down at all. This one will go down to 99, these will go to 95, these will go to 85, and then these 18 will go all the way to 1. If somebody came in and bid an opening bid at 1.
So that's what I'm asking. When you guys get ready to figure out who's gonna get this property, you're just gonna go down to the very bottom, and those people are gonna go on a random draw?
Correct.
Not on this one though, because
Right, yeah.
everyone's in at 100 on this one. If you see on the left, no one's lowered that opening bid at all.
So all of these people here will be in the random selection at 100.
So Joe, go ahead and go in and bid on that, like 16% or something like that.
Oh, you want me to be that guy?
Yeah. And then, yeah, put yours at 1.
Okay.
Now go back into that history. Okay, so anything everything in red,
They're out.
they're out.
So you're the only one, you got that property.
Well, yes, well, these people are in too. He's 18 because they went down to 1 with their proxy. I went to 1 with my proxy. These people are out because none of them went down anywhere close.
And the one with the asterisk under my bid that's Joe's bid. That's the bid that Joe just
Right.
placed. And so now he's tied with the ones on the bottom.
18 other people.
So then it would go to random.
So I've eliminated all these people that didn't take a 1% proxy.
But you just limit yourself to 16%, right?
Yeah, I can't get it. I mean, 16 is right now, if the sale closed right now, there would be 19 people at 16% in a random selection.
And he'd have 1 chance because he's only
Right,
one.
I'd have 1 of the chances. Now, if I'd have put 1% here, it'd be the exact same situation, only we'd all be in at 1% with the random selection. It'd be the same number of people because they all proxied to 1. Clear
Sure.
as mud?
So during the sale, what are they gonna see? Is it open bid process, and then when it closes, all of them close, or is it a one-by-one close that they'll see?
They all close at once, at whatever time. Jared, what time is your sale close, 11?
We did it at noon, just to
Noon,
basically
okay.
give a little extra time for the new ones.
So it'll be open 3 hours.
And then, so then any time in there, let's say he bid at 100 and went to 1, and all of a sudden that morning said, oh gee, I don't want that one at all if it's under 100. He had any time in that 3-hour time frame to go in and see what it's going, if it went under 100, he could back himself out at any point in time.
You can't lower or raise a bid once the sale starts.
But can you pull yourself out of it once it starts?
You can't. You cannot.
So randomly, I could get that property even though I want it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a live auction. When you rate your paddle at a live auction, you're in. I mean, the auctioneer, and you obviously until somebody outbids you, you're declared the winner. And I mean, that's what you're doing here. You're raising your paddle once you submit your bid. It's like a live auction.
And the difference is between a live auction is your number gets drawn because every number's in at the beginning. Your number gets drawn and you say, nope, I don't want it. But
Here,
But
you're
here,
affirmatively saying you want
you're
it.
only gonna win the ones that you bid on. You only have a chance to win on the ones you bid on. The ones you don't bid on, you're not even in the.
Like he was saying, how do you get out if you don't want it?
You don't, just like you don't at a live auction.
Mm.
When you raise your paddle a bid, which is what you're doing, when you hit your submit of your bid, whether it's individual or whether it's a bulk, you're agreeing to bid on those properties at that price.
Well, at a live auction, you could say, yeah, yes, or no, I don't want it.
Right, but if you say yes, then you've got it. And that's what you're doing when you hit submit
Yeah,
your
then
bid,
you're
you're saying
saying
yes.
But if he went in before 9 AM on Monday, he could have changed his bid, so it's just not.
Before 9.
Your
Before
spreadsheet.
9, Yeah, before.
Yeah,
You know,
via the
He could
spreadsheet.
individually change or
Right.
withdraw his bid.
And likewise, you could take them all out if you want with a spreadsheet. Right.
So if you want to withdraw, there's an option to withdraw it, or else you just put 100.
100 and 100. You know,
Right.
or zero. Well, is it? Or is it 0?
Well, if you put 100, you mean you want to withdraw your bid or you only
No.
want it at 100?
If you withdraw, you blank your bids out.
So just take, okay, don't put anything in.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Young lady? Jarrett, you got any more questions?
You can't always see whether, like, so, Joe now he's tied with 19. Is the sale, it's open, isn't it?
It's open, yeah.
Yeah, so, should be able to see who you're tied with.
On here,
Yeah.
doesn't say.
Well, is it on the front? Whether you're leading or, it must be on the.
Well, right here, leading bid, you're tied to 3.
There we go. I can't see that far, so. I knew it was on there somewhere.
Yeah, so that's the individual bidding process versus the bulk bidding.
16% of that deed, right?
That's what you would get, yes. Somebody's going to get that property at the random selection at 16% right now. So you would get, if it didn't redeem, you would get a deed for 16% ownership.
I guess what you have to decide is what you're in it for, or if you're in it for the interest or you're in it for the property. And then kind of hedge your bet on how far you're willing to go down, in case you did end up with the property.
So the only way I would do that is if it was, it's a really nice house here in town, something out on Main Street.
Jared.
Jared's
Jared's
house.
house.
Yeah, you live on Amarillo, don't you?
I'm not on there.
So do we,
I live on Amarillo. So if I really wanted and I care about the interest, then I would put my initial bid in less than 100%, correct?
right, yeah.
And the institutional, the large ones, they're, they're in it for the money, and they're pretty much gonna, go down, so as, I'm not gonna say all of them go down to 1%, but a lot of them go down to 1%, just so that they're in that random selection, so they're guaranteed to have a chance.
To big institutions.
Mhm.
Have you bid a lot?
I've been here the last couple of years.
Okay. Have you got any deeds?
Well, it's my brother-in-law that does it, so I just
Gotcha.
bid.
Okay, so you bid for him. Have you bid online before? I mean, you've looked at this, but,
Just setting up our bidder list and
Okay.
poking around.
so you haven't bid in the other counties or online the
No.
last few years? Okay.
No.
Well, this will be a first for you,
Yes, yes.
too, yeah. Well, good, you'll enjoy it.
Yes.
Be better than having to come up here and harangue with all of these people.
Well, it's never been a bad experience.
Yeah, no, well, that's good. You gotta say that, the treasurer's here, right?
Do you work with a Jennifer?
I do, yeah.
She's excellent.
She's great, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes.
Past that.
Well, she's on vacation till Thursday, so,
Oh, no.
if you need somebody, you'll get somebody else, but yeah, no, she's great, thank you.
What about the support contact information, which is very good and quick?
It's on that card, 1-800-800-9588, is that right? Okay, pretty good. That's the contact number. Call that number, you'll talk to a human being unless it's after hours, but then you'll talk to a human being the next morning. Well, you should talk to a human being unless it's a ridiculous time, like 2 a.m., but believe it or not, some people have called for help at 2 a.m. because that's when they're doing their stuff. But if it's a reasonable hour, somebody will pick up at that number.
And if you're an email person, should be right there.
Yeah.
The email's support@iowataxauction.com.
Yeah, and it's not on my card. That's on that card is my personal email address, which is okay too. If you send me a question, I can answer, I will. If I don't, I'll give it to one of the smarter people, let them answer. I'm especially not great with the IT questions, so the kind of stuff we've been talking about here today, I can help you all day long, but, and don't hesitate to email me personally. Doesn't bother me at all.
So I set up one account already, but I can't figure out how to set up my bank account. You have to have the routing number from the bank.
Yes, that should have been.
Yeah, on the bottom of your checks. And if you go, Joe's gonna show you.
Yeah, it's right on the first registration page for the individual site. The checking account number, routing number.
In the tutorial, we'll probably circle the account number and circle the
Yeah.
routing number.
Yeah, I don't-
Let's see.
And there's actually, when you check out, when you cash out, it gives you another opportunity to make sure that those numbers are correct, the numbers that you entered here. And you can change those at that time as well. Plus it gives you a picture of a check and shows you where your routing number and account numbers are.
I don't-
The thing to remember is whatever number you register with, whatever bank account you register with is also the bank account that the funds will be pulled from should you win a parcel.
Well, that's where the registration fees come. Yeah, point.
And please afford yourself the opportunity to look at the tutorials, because they are good. And they will, if you've got one particular area you have questions about, there's like 5 of these for different areas. If you want to create, modify your account, do bulk bidding, manual registration, all that stuff, there are tutorials. They're very good. You've seen them?
Yeah, they're helpful.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, please look at those if you have any questions, because they will typically answer whatever it is you have. They're broken down so you don't have to sit and listen to a 20-minute tutorial when all you care about is bulk bidding. You don't have to listen to all the other stuff.
They're short, they're only like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, this one's three and a half. Yeah, exactly. Okay, any other questions? Anything, we know how to contact us, so please get in here and play around before you do the real thing. If you have any questions, contact the help folks, because they'll help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all, yeah.
Thank you for having